Mr. Speaker, it's turn out the lights. The party is almost over for the incandescent light bulb. 4 years ago, a law went into place which mandated that every light bulb across America must be 25% more efficient by 2014. What this meant was that the incandescent light bulbs, Thomas Edison's greatest invention, is being banned, and Americans will be forced to buy the government-selected replacement, the compact fluorescent light bulb. There are health risk problems with the compact fluorescent light bulb, or the CFL as it's called. The National Institute of Health states that fluorescent bulbs contain mercury. Now, isn't that lovely? Further, another federal agency, the EPA, warns that the broken bulb contains mercury and will continue to release mercury vapor until it is cleaned up and removed from the room. End of quote. Mr. Speaker, I thought we were trying to get rid of mercury in our products in this country. So in case we happen to break one of these new glass fragile light bulbs, and I have one here, and I'm going to be very careful not to drop it on the House floor, because if I do, we'll have to evacuate the House floor, because here's what the EPA says and advises we're to do to clean up the poisonous debris in this light bulb. And I'm reading from the EPA's verbatim website. Have people and pets leave the room. Air out the room for 5 to 10 minutes by opening a window or a door to the outdoors. Now, how do you do that in a high-rise, Mr. Speaker? You shut off the central heating and air conditioning system. Collect materials needed to clean up the broken bulb. I guess we have to use glove and duct tapes. And place the cleanup materials in a sealable container. Promptly place all bulb debris and cleanup materials outdoors in a trash container or protected area until materials can be disposed of properly. Avoid leaving any bulb fragments or cleanup materials inside the room. It goes on. Continue to air out the room where the bulb was broken and leave the heating and air conditioning system shut off for several hours. I might note this is just a condensed instructions. The EPA has provided more detailed instructions on its website, and I ask unanimous consent to submit this 3-page single-space typed over 1,000 words on how to clean up one of these light bulbs if it's broken into the record, Mr. Speaker.
Without objection.
Recently, the French have noted that CFL bulbs can harm a child's vision because they contain arsenic, among other poisons. And the German scientists have found that these CFL bulbs can also cause cancer. Now, isn't that an odd idea, that these bulbs mandated by the federal government actually are harmful to our health? We should forget school lunches, Mr. Speaker. We now need to worry about our children's eyesight because of the lighting they sit under every day in a classroom, all thanks to the blind federal government. The federal government's anti-energy, anti-consumer choice regulation leaves Americans no other option but to purchase and use a harmful, poisonous product. If that's not reason enough to get rid of these bulbs, here's another one. None of these bulbs are made in the USA. You look very carefully on every one of these bulbs, they will say made in China. That's right. Our good buddies, the Chinese, make all of these bulbs. The last major factory in the United States that made incandescent light bulbs closed down September 14th, 2010. This ended a manufacturing industry that began all the way back to Thomas Edison. So these job-producing light bulb factories have been shipped off to China and now to Mexico, leaving even more Americans out of work. In fact, the light bulb that I just read to you or read off of says it is made in China, and it's in several languages, of course. So the federal government imposed a burdensome, harmful to your health regulation, an American factory closed, jobs moved overseas. We sort of heard this story before. But there's a bright spot to this sad tale. Just yesterday, the state of Texas passed a law that protects Texans from this absurd abuse of federal power. The law will allow Texans to continue to buy incandescent bulbs that are made in the state of Texas, keeping the government out of people's lives and keeping jobs in America, even if it is in Texas. And let's not forget that this regulation is unconstitutional. The federal government does not have the authority to force anybody to buy anything, a box of donuts or even a light bulb, especially if the light bulb is hazardous to America's health. Nowhere in the Constitution does the federal government have such abusive power. So it's time we repeal the unconstitutional, job-killing, bad-for-your-health light bulb mandate. Otherwise, it looks like we'll be singing the party's over for the incandescent light bulb, because they say all good things must end. Call it a night, The party's over, and tomorrow starts the same old thing again. And that's just the way it is.